and talked about the fact that you guys will face much more disciplined defenses here in the near future, especially in the playing game, and you guys need to be more disciplined. D'Anthony Melton said the same thing after the game. What was the breakdown with the discipline, and how do you guys kind of make sure that that's not the case next week?
I think it's just a matter of staying focused, kind of putting together these sometime efforts, and, you lose your focus. It's the NBA, so I think it's just a matter of having a better focus.
Draymond, Bassey gave you guys some big minutes tonight. What have you seen from him through these two games?
Very live body. He's really good shot blocker. He rebounds the ball well. Lob threat, great finisher around the rim. He's got really good hands. I think that's the one thing that's kind of stood out most to me. He's got really, really good hands. So I think he's getting more and more comfortable, but he's been good these last couple games.
Have you seen much of him? I mean, he's only been here 3 days. Have you seen much of him before?
Yeah, I've kind of watched him since he was at Western Kentucky. I try to keep up on he was a big-time recruit, so I've saw him for quite a while, but throughout his journey, Spurs and Philly, recent with Boston, I've seen him, but I didn't realize his hands was that good.
Steve talked about the last game and about how much of a different vibe it is in building when Steph Curry's here. Just how much of a lift is it to have him back?
Pretty good. Yeah, it's, he makes the game a lot easier for everybody.
What have these last two games felt like, and where do you feel the biggest difference with him? Is it just the spacing? Is it the energy? Is it?
I would say more last game than this game. This game was, but last game, you can just, things just kind of fit into their normal spots, The familiarity, it's kind of looked more like the team I'm accustomed to seeing. The spacing is different. Obviously, he draws 2 and 3 people, so just having different reads to make, different things opening up because he's on the floor, I think is probably the biggest difference. And then also the confidence level of our group is probably the biggest difference. When he come on the court, you just think you can win, and that's a different mindset than we've had over the last couple months.
How nice was it to see Moses get that standing ovation from the crowd?
Well deserved, unexpected, but it's just nice to see him. Pleasant surprise.
But also look how wide the paint is open. That's GP2, that's Charles Bassey, and Steve Kerr just mentioned it. Those driving lanes are wide open. You have much more room to get by your defender with 1, 2, or 3 dribbles, which is a huge difference as opposed to having to, have 5 or 6, 7 dribbles. Then the defense can help on you.
Not clogged.
It's just crazy that GP2 really is a big man. Like it's crazy for me to think about that. At 6'2", maybe 6'2", 6'3", the fact that he can go get all these rebounds over other big men who are 7-footers on the floor, I mean, to me, it just shows hard. And I love the chemistry he has with Steph. Every time he screens and rolls, he knows exactly where to be in the pocket. When Steph gets double-teamed, he's the perfect pressure release valve because whenever he gets the ball, he's also been one of the guys who's been on attack. Mm-hmm. He puts the ball on the floor, shoots it high, left hand, right hand, off the glass. He's been doing a great job himself.
It's like eyes at rim level for GP2. Yeah. Absolutely extraordinary. And there's a little moment of eyes emoji when the Warriors had to change their starting lineup. Will Richard was scheduled to be a starter tonight. Instead, it was Pat Spencer dropping in. Will was a late scratch with the back. How do you think Pat kind of approached this moment where he heard his number called right away?
Well, look at those numbers. Aggressive. I thought he came out looking for his offense. A big part of Pat's game has been his improved three-point shooting. When he knocks down a few threes, once again, those driving lanes open up. He knocks down a nice little corner 3 off Steph's assist. But his aggressiveness is what stuck out to me, Fezzi.
This season, the Warriors bench has had to play such a key role. And they have had to keep this thing afloat, at least trying not to keep it from sinking the whole way through while Steph and Jimmy Butler and Kristaps and all these guys have been out. And Pat has been one of those guys playing a big role. Tonight, he wasn't supposed to start. He starts and plays 40 minutes tonight. You know, just staying ready and staying prepared has really been the theme of this season for the bench. And just big game from Pat, man. Just being ready for the moment.
I'm going to guess 16 field goal attempts is a career high.
I'd have to check that. We might have that number from Daryl.
I bet you.
We'll check with Warriors PR.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, why don't we hear from Pat at the podium after the Warriors used their 40th different starting lineup?
How you feeling after playing 41 minutes?
Pretty wiped. First half was better. Second half, just lost my legs a little bit. But ultimately, just happy we came out with the win.
Steve kind of talked about there being a sort of low energy, kind of let down. What was sort of going on in the game there?
Yeah, we turned the ball over a handful of times. Just didn't get organized and spaced offensively. I think we had 17 turnovers at some point in the third. It might have been like early in the fourth. So we got it under control towards the end of the game. That group that closed did a good job. But just weren't locked in, committed to the game plan.
Took 16 field goal attempts tonight. What do you think were some of the factors that led to you being a little bit more aggressive with the shot?
Yeah, played 40 minutes. And we're just a little bit banged up right now, so the ball was in my hands a bit more. I want a handful of those back, a couple that weren't great. But just felt like, I had it going early, and so I stayed aggressive. I just couldn't buy one down the stretch. Lost my legs a little bit. I haven't played 40 minutes in quite a while.
I know it's just been 2 games, but what do you make of the collective rhythm that you guys are developing with Steph back in the lineup?
We're still finding it. He's not going to come off the bench in the playoffs and in the play-in. It's more so about finding identity and getting healthy. We've got Gee out, KP out, Will out, LJ out. We've got a handful of guys still out. So I think for us, it's finding a collective identity on both ends of the floor and finding something we can commit to, and then when we get fully healthy, be ready to roll.
Pat, had you guys seen Moses before that moment he turned up in the tunnel, and how special was it to see the ovation and kind of what that meant for everybody?
One of the all-time great teammates. We saw him before, so we saw him down in the locker room prior to the game, so got a chance to catch up. And if you know Moses, he's always in good spirits.
Happy vibe. Look at the standings. By the way, tonight the Warriors have officially landed, locked in to that 10 spot. We kind of had a feeling that would be the case, but it is absolutely official. And as you look at the teams ahead, oh, by the way, the Suns and Rockets playing right now. If the Suns lose, they are locked in to the play-in. So you're probably looking at the 4 teams right there, and that led to
all the teams are locked in right there. The YYX, they're locked in there. The Warriors are locked into the play-in box.
The YYX. The YYX.
How do you feel about that, Molly? Number 10? Are you in for this this roller coaster ride in the play-in box tournament?
It's not like we have a choice.
That's true.
They're locked in, and it's coming down to the Clippers are going to determine their destiny. And right now it looks like it's going to be Portland. That's what it looks like. We'll see how it turns out.
There was a time where a couple years ago, Mully and the box did not get along.
We still don't get along.
The play-in,
and now you've come around.
It's called acceptance.
Yeah, you've made your feelings known.
I understand what it is.
We beat you down now?
No, I understand what it is. It's a little package for Prime Video to make some more money for the NBA players, which is I love.
Yeah.
And then from there, we just carry it.
Well, it means the Warriors have some relevancy right now, that they have a glimpse at the postseason. That matters here, even if it's coming in as the 10